Warning, spoilers ahead. Welcome to the Operation STRIX podcast. I am your host, Crow. Joining me today is Roski Draftsman.
Hello.
Cool Blu-rays.
Hello.
And Pines, back again.
Heyo.
And we're here to discuss chapter... I already forgot the chapter.
82.
Guys. What is it?
82.
82. Follow-up to the last exciting chapter. And it fucking turned the dial up to 11. I was...
Yeah. Oh my god.
That was good stuff.
It was great stuff, especially as like... It was the same amount of chapters as last time, but I literally blinked and I missed it because I was so invested in this chapter.
Yes.
So much was happening, especially in the beginning with... Okay, let's start off with the beginning, okay? First off, throwing it down, I was right. That was Loid.
Yep.
I know my Loid.
You were completely right. It was Loid.
You know your Lottie.
I know my Lottie.
The Loid fanboy knew.
Well, it's great because, yeah, you got it right, but it also begs the question, where the fuck is the real Wheeler?
Right?
Exactly. We still don't know where Wheeler is.
Wait, we all forgot about Wheeler.
Or straight up did. I did not even care about him this chapter.
No, well, I was ready for Wheeler, I don't know, making the move, but this was a lot more intense.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, getting ready for that Wheeler Twilight face-off, but that, what we got was so much better.
We got Yuri, yeah.
Okay, that's the funny part. We're finally excited to see Yuri.
Yeah, because he's like, it's actually really interesting to have him on screen.
Yeah,
on page.
You're right, and you were right too, Blue. That
I was right.
Yes, the SSS agent is just the SSS agent. It's not Wheeler in disguise. Which
I was convinced that it was Loid as the SSS agent at first. I will say, then I kind of changed my tune about that.
Yeah.
But I knew that he was like already an SSS officer. That's not like a big revelation per se.
Yeah.
Oh, the SSS officer was the SSS officer.
All along.
Yeah, you make me sound like a real genius over here when you say it like that.
I think he's talking about like Scooby-Doo villain, which is like I love it. But okay, so it was even worse for Loid. Like I thought it would have been bad if it was Wheeler, but in fact, it's 1,000 times worse for Wise that it's not Wheeler because, and this goes back to what we were talking about with the tie pin. So I thought the tie pin, the way that Yuri phrased it, was like a green pen on top of a green tie. But Lloyd's was yellow pin on top of a green tie. And so that was a setup from the SSS. And what preceded after that getting revealed was like so chilling. Like that was straight up, like that was the first time I think that we've seen the director of the SSS. Is that the director? Like the chief or whatever?
Yeah, he's like the chief. See, we only have ever seen him with like a cutesy old man face, like when he called Yuri a puppy. But that face, that's nightmare fuel.
That was
fantastically creepy.
Yeah.
And unnerving.
He needs a dental plan, but
SSS doesn't.
He's got
have
some
dental,
canines there.
Yeah, but
yeah.
I mean, it is creepy. I'm used to that kind of shit, but it was.
And I genuinely feel like, man, I feel bad for this poor
Mole?
wise mole agent who basically
dead.
Just lost his life because of the slip.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, Jeffrey.
R.I.P. Jeffrey.
R.I.P. Jeffrey. You served your country.
We hardly knew you.
Yeah.
Literally. Ooh.
Yeah,
Literally.
he's gonna die a messy death.
I love that. I love that. That was like so in that's so in line with like what would happen in like this kind of scenario of like the SSS, they don't know for sure who's the mole, but they have an idea, so they mix up the information on purpose, and like they know exactly who
told lies. Yeah,
right, yeah,
basically like, oh fuck, that's a smart ass move. Yeah,
it is. Oh, I fucking love it.
Yeah,
it's spy shit, man.
It's good to see that the SSS are to be taken seriously.
They're finally putting the spy in Spy Family.
Finally, Endo, you get me what I want.
Get some spy.
Yes,
Yay.
Proper espionage.
And that wasn't even like the most spy shit that happened. It was like, all right, Loid gets found out, SSS closing in. Fucking Loid hits a tripwire or a button or something, and the fountain explodes.
Yeah. And he's got like a machine gun in his suitcase.
Yep. He's got a fucking briefcase machine gun.
I bet good money that he got inspired by Kingsman.
There you go. Kingsman.
Because they literally have a briefcase with like a machine gun in it too.
I bet that's inspired by real life spy tools.
Espionage.
Spy tools, yeah. Some of them are not.
Probably.
You think?
Yeah, you know, they were real fucking good at concealing weapons.
So I'm not seeing anything.
Oh, okay. So it's completely a fictional weapon. Because like I know there's like a real weapon, or not. It's not technically a weapon, but it's like a spy tool where sometimes spies will have like fake, like. They'll have like something at the bottom of their shoes that look like bare feet imprints when they're walking on something, so people don't know that they're like wearing shoes. Well, I've heard that's a real thing.
Well, I mean, it's not too far fetched because I mean, if you and I've recommended it before. I don't know if I've done it on the podcast or not, but if any of y'all have Netflix, Spycraft is an amazing show on Netflix. It details like different aspects about spy.
Yeah, I have.
Right,
Romeo's and all of that.
The items that they use, the weapons are like so creative. Like there's like lipstick guns. There's literally guns at the bottom of like the soles of your feet. Like umbrella guns. So like it's not far fetched to believe that there could be a briefcase. I'm sure there is.
We just don't know.
I believe
it just hasn't been classified yet or some shit like that.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, so Loid blows up the fountain and then has some traps because of course he does. So he gets out of there, and we've come full circle, and Loid has indeed dressed up as Yuri. Which made me so happy. Yeah, you have no idea. I was like, yes! We're getting it!
Like, even in isolation, that already was good. But it was just the setup.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I love the little like I impersonated Yuri.
he's been spending too much time with Anya.
But it leads to real Yuri is there in the same area, finds Loid's footprints, follows him into the sewers, and I mean,
we need to talk about this footprint.
Can we talk about
because my idea is, did Loid leave it on purpose, or is he actually like slipping up?
I do think he's slipping up.
Ooh.
Because it does feel a little sloppy because he knows Yuri is in the area, right?
Right.
No, I do not. Well, I do think it was a slight slip up. I mean, he's under pressure.
Well, okay. Pines is right because Loid gave him the information that they were going to the park, so he probably assumes that Yuri's there, if he doesn't know for sure. I didn't even think to consider that he did it on purpose because Loid was ready, like with that pipe, like he was expecting somebody to come.
Yeah, you don't just carry a pipe around.
Yeah.
Right. Nasty.
Well, I think he was mostly being precautious, or like kind of thinking last minute, just like grab a weapon or something to distract them and then shoot them, right?
But I do think the footprint was a mistake. Mostly because because if it was a footprint that any other SSS member would have seen, they would have just assumed, oh, Agent Breyer was here. But it was Agent Breyer who saw it and was like, wait, I haven't walked through this path.
Yeah,
that must be Twilight.
I think it could have been a calculated risk because I see both of your points, but like literally the only person who would have realized that's not Yuri is Yuri. And so it probably was panicking to a point where he's just like, look, the chances of Yuri finding this footprint are pretty slim, but if it's my footprint, everybody's gonna know that something's up. So like,
but I mean, it was a calculated risk.
Now I'm actually,
and he was bad at math.
I mean,
the sewers.
In the sewers, Yuri and not Yuri face off.
Yuri and not Yuri, yeah. Two Yuris. It's like some people's worst nightmare, I think, in the fandom.
I think some people it's their dream come true, but you know who you are out there.
I mean,
comment below if you're one of
their
them.
own.
Well, okay, so Loid. Okay, I love this bit. This scene because you got Yuri chasing after Twilight. Loid comes out with the pipe, all right, and he's got the gun on him. And I mean, even Yuri's like, I'm dead. And Loid just, I didn't see what was happening at first. Like, I thought he pulled the trigger, but
like,
it was
wait,
him,
what?
Like, wavering.
Like,
yeah.
And he's just like, fuck it's Yuri. Like,
of all people, it had to
Yuri.
be like, if it was someone else, he would have been
right.
He would probably just have shot them dead. But since it was Yuri, like that would have created additional problems.
You really, could go 50-50 on who actually pulled the trigger.
Right, because at the end we see Yor breaking the plate, which according to Tari is really bad luck in Asian culture. And so that's alluding to the fact that somebody got hurt. We don't know who.
Oh, no.
Well, okay, because someone, I don't remember who said it, but someone said that the blood in the last panel means that someone definitely got shot, either Yuri or Loid, because that's way too much blood if it were just yours.
I mean, you can even see
it's some
pebbles on the ground, so it's definitely the ground of the sewers. Yeah. Like, it's not the sink. Mm-hmm. It's definitely not the sink, and there's too much blood. And someone got hurt. But how badly? That's the mirror at hand.
And now, Crow and I reveal how dark-sided we are.
What?
Oh. Oh yeah.
Wow.
That. Okay. For the people who believe that Yuri got shot, me and Pines would say it'd be really fucking funny if Yuri got shot a second time on the other shoulder.
Oh,
which. Yeah, it's morbid, but come on, it would be pretty funny.
Imagine the poor guy got shot twice in 1 week.
That's okay.
No,
he just needs to talk to you.
That will be a really fun tradition to start. New arc, Yuri gets shot.
Yuri just gets shot every arc. Oh god.
It's one shot for every time he was a really weird siscon brother.
That would be the only way to make up for it, yeah.
Yeah. By getting shot.
Yeah. You must atone for bullets. Your sins. Yeah. Okay, so it could be Yuri. It could be Loid.
It could be both.
And it could be both.
That's actually one of the...
Yeah, I feel like I'm very doubtful of like it's a Loid's Twilight reveal to Yuri. I feel like it might be more like it's definitely going to be like I'll get you one day, Twilight.
Probably. But I actually do think that it's gonna be the start of suspicion from either Yuri or Yor. Because, okay, let's say the scenario. A potential scenario. Like, but got hurt. Yuri got hurt in a way that incapacitates him from shooting Twilight further, but Twilight got hurt in a way that makes the wound a little too evident to hide. So then Twilight manages to escape in this scenario.
Yeah.
The arc happens, and later Yuri sees Twilight with, Loid 4th year, with a wound that looks a little too much like the wound he inflicted on Twilight.
Yeah, I like that idea. I also like the mental image of like, Loid obviously is not going to be like fatally injured, but I'm imagining the scenario where, maybe, in the scuffle, part of Loid's disguise falls off. And so, like, you see, like, Yuri, like, sees Twilight, but not completely enough to where he knows it's Loid, but maybe he, like, it plants that seed in his head, like, Yuri said before that Loid is Twilight, but he was just saying it out of, like, spite for, being his sister's husband. But what if he actually starts believing it now of, like, it looks like Loid in there, but I can't be sure. So, that'll basically the same route that Roski's going. I'm just thinking kind of like in a different route.
But the core idea is the same.
Yeah, same thing. Which, I agree with. That would be that would be juicy. That'd be really juicy if it went down that way.
It would be spicy. Because also imagine Yuri is gonna start investigating everything about Loid.
Ooh,
and everything we know about Loid is technically faked and forged. So all he has to do is just call up the university, call up the schools, and be like,
something's off.
This Loid forger, where he at?
Yeah.
You think Yuri's gonna start like investigating into Loid finally? Try to
for the sitcom that he is.
I'm surprised that he hasn't.
Yeah.
He has.
I mean, well, I feel like he wouldn't be able to get the resources from the SSS without like a actual evidence to back him up is the big deal. Like, what actual evidence could he present to state that, yes, this random man who happened to marry my sister, I think he might be the infamous Twilight. Like, he needs something to be able to say, yeah, I think I have probable reason to believe that this man is Twilight, and I want to be able to have resources to be able to, like, access school records and ask about, like, where he worked and stuff, and do people actually know him, or have they actually seen him?
Actually,
things like that.
This also just came to me, but would Yuri actually want to bring it up to the SSS? Because that would make Yor look suspicious, too.
Oh, you think he'd do it independently then?
Oh, like, he goes rogue?
Yeah, like he has his own little mini arc.
Oh my god.
Because, like...
That would be actually really cool.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I mean... We all know, and Yuri knows that Yor doesn't know, but, like, why would the SSS believe... Well, I'm sure they believe Yuri to some extent, but it's like, if they don't trust anyone, why would they decide to not investigate Yor at all?
Right.
Oh, shit.
Ooh, that's spicy.
Okay, that's a really good idea. I mean, because like we already talked about before, that shopkeeper, I think, is getting suspicious of Loid anyway, because of the whole he seems to really support the National Unity Party. And didn't we suggest like maybe Garden would go after Twilight or go after Loid Forger? So this is very awkward if he suddenly has like Garden and Yuri Breyer after
oh my god.
Holy shit. And then all this time, Yor still has no idea.
Oh my god.
And
God bless her. God bless
Wheeler's at the zoo. Wheeler's at the zoo. Wheeler's the panda.
Yes, the panda from Endo's extra bonus art for
which basically confirms chapter. We're getting a zoo mini chapter.
If we get a fucking zoo chapter after this, I swear to God, I'm burning all my manga. Like,
hey, if Wheeler is in the panda suit, maybe it'll just be Fiona and her team going to the zoo to try to take him down and like drag this panda.
I can just imagine. Try to drag a panda out and not look suspicious.
My brain is melting thinking about it.
Yeah.
Okay, since we're still on the topic, there's also, which I think is honestly is the most plausible, is that Loid just banged him over the head with the metal pipe.
Okay,
yeah, just straight bonked him.
Let me check, because the Japanese are very Japanese artists are very specific with onomatopoeia. So.
Oh yeah. Well, it just says
bang. Yeah, but they even have specific bangs for if you get hit or if you shoot.
Oh.
Really?
I don't know that.
Okay, I had no idea.
Roski's
they get really stupid specific, and it does sound like and it does look like gunshot.
Okay.
It could be purposefully misleading.
It's true.
Yeah. But that's okay. That's interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. That's pretty cool, though. Like, you could tell what happened based off, I guess, the typography.
It's the kind of sound. For instance, a lot of manga, old school manga, when they represent a gunshot, they don't put like just an impact sound, like a don or a dogon, they put a sound that will be close to Byakun. It's weird, but yeah, they have a specific sound.
Interesting.
Manga is a little crazy with onomatopoeia. They even have onomatopoeia for things that do not cause sounds. They are just like emotions or sensations or a mood.
Oh, like shoujo filters.
Shoujo.
Yeah, essentially. But they can convey that with just a sound. Well, with a sound effect, quote unquote. It's weird, but yeah,
like Doki Doki.
But that's the sound of a heartbeat.
Okay.
Not my heart. I don't think it sounds like
that. They made. I mean,
makes my heart go Doki Doki.
I mean, they say rooster sounds like korekoko. That's not a rooster I ever heard.
So, do you guys feel like Loid has been Wheeler like for a majority of the manga, basically, like after he?
I don't think he has been Wheeler from the point he met Yuri to mislead the SSS.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the guy that was watching from the vantage point was the real Wheeler. So.
Oh, you think that?
Yep, because I do think that he spot Fiona and Midnight, if you will, and decided to take another route. I do hope Wheeler puts up a fight. If Wheeler manages to take, even for a temporary moment, to make Twilight take an L, he will officially ascend to the first actual good Spy X Family antagonist, because I do feel that while the manga is good at setting up conflicts, outside of the tonal whiplash, its weakest side is the antagonist by a long shot.
That's fair.
Because one of the problems with I do think that good antagonists can check 3 important points. First, that this manga does well is that the antagonist has to be a representation of the opposition of what the protagonist represents or is trying to achieve. Good versus evil, Coke versus Pepsi, etc.
Coke versus Pepsi.
And Pepsi is the evil.
Yeah, Pepsi is evil. Well, yeah, but okay. But the second one,
good.
Yeah, the second one that I do think that the manga is hit or miss in this regard is that the antagonist has to be interesting on their own accord.
Yeah.
Think. Okay, I could put multiple examples, but let's just stick with Death Note for a moment.
Oh, Death Note, okay.
Yeah, L as a character is intriguing on his own right. You could make a manga based on him alone, and it will work. In fact, I think there is a spin-off based on him. But like sticking with the Death Note analogy, the one aspect that makes an antagonist stand out is how much pushback he can present against the protagonist. It's that moment where the antagonist presents himself as a verifiable threat, and this is something that most antagonists in Spy X Family do not achieve. Because Keith, for instance, Keith is dangerous because he's stupid. Like, he's an idiot with dogmatic beliefs that has access to bombs.
Yeah.
Yes.
And dogs.
He's more dangerous because of his ignorance than because of his competence. Because the moment he is in the same room as either Twilight or Yor, he falls like a stack of cards.
Yeah.
And the same goes for sniff jobs. People remember the sniff, but he's not a he's not a verifiable threat to Yor. Like, the moment he's actually in a 1-on-1 against Yor, he bails like a little bitch. So, so he really doesn't generate this pushback. The boat arc makes Yor look badass, but the other assassins look like pansies In contrast, like the closest one to actually possess a real threat and real pushback has been so far Bill Squire, but the moment Anya got a hang on how he thoughts, what he thinks, what he wishes, how he thinks, advertently and inadvertently, she was really quick to emotionally manipulate him.
Yeah.
If we get an antagonist that finally manages to generate pushback against the heroes, in this case, Wheeler outmaneuver in Twilight, even if it's just for a while, we're actually getting an antagonist worth remembering.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment, because that's kind of what's happening with Demon Slayer at the moment. Not that I don't like this season. I think this season's great. I just think the antagonists this time around aren't as good as the last season, just because they don't have an interesting backstory. They're kind of one note, and they're there to set up the protagonists, in a badass way, and it's it does that. But it's kind of what you're saying, how it is with Spy Family, where it's like, okay, in a vacuum, these people aren't interesting. Like, not even saying they're effective or anything like that. They're just not interesting, and you don't really care about them. You're just waiting for them to die, basically, which is kind of what. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's also that we have like the big bad, which is Desmond. He's our big bad, and so and he's like not even in the story really.
Yeah,
but that's actually the problem.
Yeah.
He's the big bad, and you have all these like little smaller like arc specific villains
that have nothing to do with the story.
Connect to him, that don't connect to like an overarching plot, that are kind of just like
but
there and gone.
Yeah.
But even in that front, you can make a villain, an antagonist, interesting. I do think that, I do not necessarily think that making the antagonistic force of a series an actual person is needed to make the series interesting. And it could work, but let's put it like this. Of all examples, Frieza from Dragon Ball. He's a character that if you start breaking him down, it looks like he wouldn't work. And yet he does. He's one of the most iconic villains in anime and manga of all time. And that's because, despite the simple premise that he's just an evil space emperor that in practice may sound like he's a shitty ripoff from the Emperor from Star Wars, actually stands out through sheer charisma. Desmond, by contrast, is a character that is not really iconic to the series. When you see fan art or fan fiction or merchandise or just people talking about the manga, Desmond rarely comes up into the conversation.
He's like a background character.
He really is. Yeah, I was gonna say, because he is not an overarching villain. He is on paper, not in practice.
Yeah.
And going back to the Dragon Ball example, I agree with you in the sense that Dragon Ball and Spy Family are two completely different plot setups.
I know.
Well, no. I'm just saying, because in DBZ there is no overarching villain. It is like the entire story is based around these individual villains, and that that's Goku becoming stronger by overcoming these villains and stuff like
and
that.
Then the person guy, and then he beats him.
But Spy Family isn't set up the same way. Like, we were set up from the beginning that Desmond is the main threat, but Desmond hasn't been a threat this entire, or on screen hasn't been a threat. I'm sure he's doing stuff in the background.
Yeah, he's just like, he may be planning something,
but we have no idea.
We don't know.
Right? It's like
exactly.
It's like so
we don't really even.
It's like so hidden in the background. I think a lot of people forget that Desmond exists.
He's even there.
Almost like they sprinkle him in here and there about like it definitely feels like he's tied to the experimentation thing. Like it feels like that's the direction they're going for, which means it's probably going to be very related to Anya's whole backstory and stuff. Hopefully, yes. It would be great if it was connected, but like,
but
we haven't seen anything about it at all.
Like, he may be dangerous. Why? We don't know. But he may
be
dangerous.
But he might be dangerous.
Have you seen those owl eyes?
You can't
He's
trust
a
those
danger
eyes.
to my eyesight, maybe.
Yeah.
Literally.
I don't know. Like, it's kind of a mess. But I mean, I do not think that like a significant antagonist has to be the draw for a Spike family. But I do think that Endo could do a little more to spice even the arc antagonist a little more. And I hope Wheeler delivers on that. Because Wheeler is the perfect potential foil for Twilight. Like, I am the cold, calculating badass, but that doesn't have something to fight for. I'm perfectly willing to betray others for.
I just completely agree with you.
Yeah.
Like, I was gonna say, like, I feel like I was really gearing up for like them being like the two sides of the same coin. And it's gonna be like showing how like Loid has grown in character development, and now he's out here shooting his brother-in-law.
hey, bonking him on the head with a pipe. Okay, I'm trying to be optimistic.
My Hagar style, but yeah.
I love how it's like, let's just hope that he just hit him on the head with a lead pipe and didn't shoot him dead. That'd be great.
Yuri, he's fine.
He's a sturdy
fellow. Way,
just a bump in the head.
Yeah.
Sturdy.
Like, he's gonna leave. He just got bonked.
But I going back to Pines, what you were saying about two sides of the same coin, I would love, and that's why I want Wheeler to be a recurring character, is because I want this to start being where Loid questions, not necessarily wise, but just like
we can't keep doing this anymore, Crow. We keep saying
because there's a lot of similarities between these two, and then
also I just don't want us to get hurt again. That's all.
I am prepared to get hurt. I'm a masochist, but so like I want.
This is why,
So I want like the whole thing with they're like Wheeler was a mole, okay, for the SSS in Wise. He's the bad guy, okay, but Wise has a mole in SSS, but we're supposed to feel sympathetic towards him, and I'm like, they're the same thing, and like Loid is doing exactly what Wheeler is doing, but he's our protagonist and Wheeler is the antagonist. But it's like there is no black and white; they're literally the same thing. And like, I want Loid to think about that. I want Loid to come to terms at some point with the idea that like, yo, I'm doing bad things, he's doing bad things, but I'm the good guy, and start questioning that.
But also, I think we do have the opportunity to contrast Yuri and Loid, in that Yuri is this like brand spanking new, like he's brand new to the spy game, and Loid has obviously been in it for at least 10 plus years more than him. And so I think it would be a good contrast of if Loid is just more jaded while Yuri like still thinks he's doing the right thing.
Okay, that would be good. Mm-hmm.
I'm really giving Endo a bone here.
I know you are. You really are.
Well,
I didn't expect you of all people here to be like, here's some like actually good ideas to give to Endo.
That's offensive.
A little bit. But no, I like that. I like that idea. Or maybe I don't know. I was gonna say maybe at some point, maybe after all of this, Loid is like kind of gets him out of the spy game. I don't know. Like, I'm just like thinking out loud here. Like, maybe towards the end of the series, like he, maybe he stops being a spy. Maybe convinces Yuri to stop being a spy. Because I don't know, for your sake, because they might end up dead one day. I don't know.
Oof.
That'd be cool, I guess. But yeah, who knows?
Who knows? We just know someone got bonked in the head or shot.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll find out. We'll find out on June 25th at 11:00 a.m. EST.
8 a.m. PST.
Hopefully.
Mm-hmm. I wanted
It's going to be a zoo chapter.
God. Well, before that, I wanted to talk a little bit about the whole, like yours line about, I wonder if Loid will be home late. Because, Yuri put that idea that he might be cheating on her in her head. You guys think that might come back up?
I don't know.
Look,
I'm
not saying I think that she actually believes that Loid's cheating on her, but I think she is going to start to question, like, he's having some awfully late nights. Like, what is he up to?
Yeah,
she's if he's not coming home. Yeah. So I think that's a reasonable enough worry.
That actually reminds me of something I forgot to say.
Okay.
That is kind of funny. Yeah, based on the criteria I gave about what makes a good antagonist.
Yeah.
ironically enough, Fiona has been the best antagonist in the series.
You think Fiona is the main antagonist of the series?
No, it has been the best.
Makes sense.
At being an antagonist.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe it.
Because, I mean, for once, she's fun to watch on her own, or at least cringe to watch on her own. She actually has, she's actually in some ways memorable, and more importantly, she's the first character to actually generate pushback. You know, she got under your skin. So that actually created pushback.
Fiona is actually the true antagonist of Spike's family. It wasn't Desmond. It was Fiona all along for trying to wreck the family. Yeah. You know what? Fair. Because cheating is no good, kids.
You know what? Good. Stamp of approval on this one. I'm bringing that back.
No, but I'm glad you brought up the your parts, because I feel like, it can't just be like a throwaway for Yor to just be there and thinking about Loid and what Yuri put into her head. Yeah. I think it's going to be like a recurring theme throughout this arc of Yor starting to like actually think more about her relationship with Loid.
Exactly.
Right, because she worries a lot about, I think, herself in this relationship, but I think it's time she focuses on worrying about Loid in this relationship. Kind of like... especially with like kind of this whole he's working late and maybe not really having an explanation, and I'm pretty sure Yor never asked before because she felt like she didn't have a right to complain or ask about it, but like it seems to kind of be affecting, well, maybe it's affecting kind of things at home a little bit where like, Anya isn't seeing her dad as much and stuff, and that's not great, and maybe Yor kind of uses that as a way to kind of excuse the fact that maybe she kind of misses him a little bit. She doesn't know why, but she does miss having him around because, he's kind of part of the family. He's part of her life. Exactly. Even if they're kind of just being partners and not even a real relationship, still kind of trying to be a team as two adults working together and living a life together with a young kid. I think that would be nice to explore that. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think it I'm trying to
I don't think it would be that dramatic.
It'll be as innocent. Well, no, I don't think it'll be as innocent as that. I think it's gonna be. It will be that. It will be Yor like reevaluating her relationship with Loid. I don't think. Well, now that I'm saying out loud, I think it's going to be, for better or worse, this is going to be her thinking about Loid as more than just like. What is essentially a roommate, because like it's like what Roski was saying, like I don't think we're going to do the same thing again where Yor's gonna think Loid is going out with some woman and like she's gonna like maybe think about it. Like I think at this point she's like she doesn't believe that he's cheating, but she's thinking about like, well, just the thought of it is making me upset. So that's going to be like, okay, well, why do I feel this way? And then she's going to like feel more attached to Loid, but at the same time feeling bitter towards him because he is out late and doesn't have an explanation for it, even though he doesn't owe her one because they're not really married. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be like a big mix of emotions. Yeah,
I like that.
I that shit too. That's gonna be really juicy.
I just want more of that kind of them slowly building their relationship just a little bit more. I really liked it when Yor was talking with her friends and they put the idea in her head that you should probably give him some kind of like welcome back kiss or something like that.
Yeah. And she was gonna try
she
too.
Flipped out over it, yeah.
Right.
Like immediately, but it's like, hey, that's some kind of progress because suddenly she's getting a few more ideas about like, oh, should I do this? Because she doesn't. It's like she's not opposed to it, saying, oh, she doesn't like completely write it off as like, oh no, we're not like actually together. Like I can't just give him a kiss. That's weird.
Right. Well,
she's like, yeah, she tried. She would have tried if she hadn't flipped out immediately, but. Like, she's kind of willing, I think, a little bit to kind of tiptoe a little bit into that territory.
To be fair, she was extremely drunk. She was still extremely drunk when she tried that.
She was, but I also think that was, like, her
it did kind of help her. It did help her be a little more brave about it.
Well, and the whole thing about that is, like, why would she try to do that to... to make their marriage seem more real when it was in private anyway and nobody's seeing them.
Right.
But she took that as an okay to like, okay, maybe I should kiss him. And it's like, oh, I have to do this to prove my marriage. I'm like, nobody's looking at you. Like, why do you have to prove anything? But
yeah, to yourself, maybe?
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, Pine says, I mean, she's right. She was fucking sloshed, so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like her sense of logic completely kind of her reserve kind of like fell out the window when, she was a little bit drunk, and like after she sobered up, she was like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing here?
What the fuck am I doing?
Following Loid and shit, like.
Yeah.
And it's so funny how like Yuri totally kind of enables that behavior a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Or like he puts it, I don't know, people put a lot of different ideas in Yor's head, and when she's drunk it seems like she's like more willing to accept like, oh yeah, no, that makes sense. That totally.
That's true.
And I mean, that seems to just be the drunk adult thing where like you put an idea in their head and like, yeah, I'll totally do that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kiss my husband.
Yeah.
I think we need Yor to start getting her own ideas in her own head.
Yes.
Do you guys think that this might maybe it's not, maybe the end of this isn't going to be angsty. Maybe this might be like a genuine conversation that, they have after this.
Yeah.
Where she's just like, hey, like, I don't feel comfortable with you being out and not telling me. And just like leaving it at that, just amicably.
Right, because I'm just remembering too, like, didn't Loid say, we'll talk about this when I get back? Because he realized like they kind of had to cut their convo short because of his work, obviously, and they haven't had a chance to like come back to each other and kind of talk about.
It's the same day. It's been like 2 hours.
I know.
That's
it's
true.
Crazy. It's only been like
it blows my mind.
It's been like 2 hours and so much has happened in like barely any time.
We got that. It's the fan fast.
Yeah.
They've been very fast chapters. Yeah.
Yeah. What happens if Loid like doesn't come back until the next day or something, and he has to explain like
no, that's gonna bring up some conversation.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I want that drama though.
You know what drama I want? I already told you guys, but I don't want this to be Yor getting mad at Loid. I want Loid to come back injured and Yor freaking out over him.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he did get a gunshot and then she's like, what the fuck happened? He's like, oh god, like some guy mugged me on my way to work.
Oh my god. Like, mugged him?
Yeah.
What was the excuse Yuri said he got hit by a truck or something?
I think so. Yeah, I think he said he got hit by a car too. Like everyone, the Briars are always like, "Yeah, I got hit by a car, and that's why I got hurt." Like they say that all the time.
No big deal.
MBD.
Like, oh, no biggie. It was just a BMW.
It was a little bitch Trebon or whatever.
I mean, Yor kicked a fucking car, so
yeah. I don't think there's much else to say here.
No. Yeah. I think we've covered basically everything. I mean, I like Pine said, I'm ready to see the Loid Yuri shippers come out in full force for Pride Month. Got to represent. Woohoo!
Oh my god,
they already are.
But God, the fan art they made is so fucking fast.
Yeah, y'all are quick, man.
Yeah, they're really quick on it.
God damn it! Calm down.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're gonna call it for today, guys. Everybody in the comments, let us know what y'all think is gonna happen next. Whether Yuri got bonked, or if he got shot, or was it Loid that got shot, or was it both? Let us know.
Or do you think we're just gonna get a Zoom mini chapter?
Or are we gonna get Zoo chapter?
Because of Endo's illustration of Becky and Anya looking at a panda.
And Crow just fucking loses it. Let's see what happens.
He's taunting us.
He's gonna really need that vacation.
Yeah. Stay tuned for the next episode. In the meantime, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And we'll see you all again soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.